Temperatures are rising as a heat wave rolls through Toronto. We've got your previews, predictions, speculations, and a little bit of help from WWE 2K24. Heatwave is this weekend.
Let's talk about it.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to Rumble Rewind. Thanks for stopping by today. My name is Brandon, and we are talking all about NXT Heatwave. Who's going to win? Who's going to walk away with the championships? And what is going to be the fallout? Before we dive into that, though, do me a quick favor. Scroll down below this video. Hit that like button for me because I know you're going to love it. While you're down there, hit the subscribe button as well. Hang out with me more often on the channel here. And go ahead and turn on those post notifications so that you never miss an upload. We are going to be doing a giveaway at 200 subscribers. We're giving away a CM Punk t-shirt and hat. And the only way to be eligible is to subscribe to the channel. So hit that subscribe button, make sure you're eligible. You might just walk away with the prize. Last thing to let you know before we dive in is I did get some help with these predictions from WWE 2K24. And if you're a fan of 2K24 and the game in general, click this link right here. I've got some content based around that, some tips and tricks that I'd love to share with you. It was fun to just simulate these matches, let the game decide who it thought was going to win, and I'll tell you if I agree or disagree. But let's jump into the first match of the night. It is part of the pre-show. We're getting a tag team match between Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovich. They will take on the team of Jasmine Nix and Jacy Jayne. Now, this match was set up on NXT this past week, and you can click this video here if you want to get a quick recap. This match to me, though, feels like it was just an opportunity to get a couple more Canadian superstars, Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovich, onto the card. The good thing about it is, even though it's part of the pre-show, it does have some good storyline elements that are there. There's been this feud kind of developing between Carmen and Jacy Jayne, Jasmine Nix. Fallon Henley has been sort of in a situation where she's creating an alliance with Jasmine Nix and Jacy Jayne, and it's them kind of taking on some of the younger talent, saying that they haven't paid their dues and they should be getting the pushes as the veterans of NXT over some of these younger superstars. Of course, that's what got Carmen mixed up into it. And then Ariana Grace's character is such that she's just like, I want a match. I want people to see me. And so it makes a whole lot of sense why these two are happening. Carmen, of course, is reluctantly teaming up with Ariana Grace. And again, I think for Carmen, it is just an opportunity to get back in the ring with Jasmine and Jacy, get her hands on them one more time, and again, perform in front of the Canadian crowd, which is exciting for her. Now, as I simulated this one in 2K24, it went with the team of Jacy Jayne and Jasmine Nix, and if I'm being honest with you, that is what I'd like to see happen. I think that if Jacy and Jasmine win it, then Jacy Jayne can continue this the story that she's building, saying, see, we should be the ones, we're the ones that should get the push, we're the ones that deserve these opportunities, not these rookies. And that story could continue. I could see Fallon Henley getting involved, showing up, maybe interfering in some way, and again, continuing that story where this alliance is continuing to build. And I'm behind it. I think the three of them together, being Fallon, Jacy, and Jasmine, would be pretty fun. That's what I want to see happen. However, I don't think that's what's ultimately going to happen. Ultimately, I think that Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace are going to get the win here. Even booking is a thing, and Jasmine just got that win over Carmen on Tuesday night. And it is the pre-show. It's the Canadian superstars taking on the non-Canadian superstars. It is the faces taking on the heels, and I think that they'll want to start this thing with the feel-good moment for the Canadian crowd to kind of get them hyped up. So at the end of the day, I do think that it's going to be Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace over Jasmine Nix and Jacy Jayne on the pre-show. All right, let's get into the main show. The first match that we'll talk about is for the tag team championships. We've got the champions, Nathan Frazer and Axiom, defending against Chase Hughes, Andre Chase, and Duke Hudson. Now, according to WWE 2K24, we are more than likely going to get new tag team champions. It did pick Andre Chase and Duke Hudson to get the win over Nathan Frazer and Axiom. Now, what's funny about this storyline, though, is both of these teams are in some stories that revolve around some tension, some distrust, some issues that have presented themselves. Nathan Frazer and Axiom are kind of at odds because Frazer continues to branch out on his own, continues to compete for singles titles instead of focusing on the tag team championships and keeping those, and that has frustrated Axiom. Nathan Frazer continues to write this all off and continues to say he's going to show up when the time comes, and he's proven that over and over again, but Axiom remains frustrated nonetheless. Now on the Chase Hughes side, we've got the cheating scandal that just came out this past Tuesday with with Duke Hudson showing Andre Chase that Ridge Holland actually cheated to help them get a win. As a result of that, Chase told Ridge that he needed to stay behind for Heatwave. I fully expect Ridge Holland to show up and potentially help Chase U get the win and become the new tag team champions, and I'm interested to see where the story would go after that. Which members of Chase U are in favor of it because they won the championships? Which members of Chase U are saying, no, we need to do this clean, we need to do this the right way? How does that play out? What happens to Ridge? I like this whole idea that he cheated and so he's ineligible to come to Heatwave, but we'll see what happens from there. Again, both of these teams are kind of in some tense moments, and I think that Fraser and Axiom are probably headed towards a breakup, which I don't love, which is why my pick is Chase U. I do believe that Chase U is going to win. They are going to walk out as the tag team champions. Going to continue to sell the frustration story on both sides, as it is the best way for both of those stories to continue. My question is, what happens to Nathan Fraser and Axiom? Do they stay together and try to win the titles back, or do they break up? And then what happens with Chase U? Does that cause people to leave Chase U? Does that cause students to withdraw because they don't want to be associated with cheating scandals and things like that? I could see that happening. It really works well on a this college type of environment, and so I could see that happening. Tell me your thoughts though in the comments below. Are we getting new tag team champions, and what happens from there? Again, my pick is Chase U. I do believe they're walking out with those tag team championships, but I do think it's going to be in a less than above board method. Let's move on to the next match. We're talking about the North American Championship, Obafemi taking on Wes Lee, with the stipulation that if Wes Lee does not win the championship, he cannot challenge Obafemi again. As I simulated this one in 2K24, its pick was Obafemi. And you know what? That is what I would love to see happen as well. I want to see Obafemi win this match definitively, retain that championship, and then to see Wes Lee move on to something else. I know that Wes is one of those guys that is just associated with the North American Championship. He's arguably the greatest North American champion. He defended it more times than anybody who's ever held that title and did a great job at carrying it. But I do think that it's time for Wes to take a next step somewhere, whether it's to move into the NXT title hunt or whether it's to move to the main roster and be kind of in the mid card for a little while. I do think that Wes has been on NXT for so long that it's time for something to happen, unless he's just going to be an NXT lifer, but there's just not many of those. That's not what it's designed for. So I would love to see Wes move on and develop into a character who has more depth to him than just being obsessed with the North American Championship. Right now, his whole character is underdog who has to have the North American Championship to feel complete, and I need to see more from Wes. So again, I want to see Obafemi win this championship or keep this championship and Wes move on. And at the end of the day, that is my pick that I think is actually going to happen. I do think that Obafemi retains here. I do think that they're trying to make Obafemi into what is the greatest North American champion of all time, and then they will move him into the NXT title hunt, or they might just move him straight to the main roster. Obafemi is the complete package right now, and I could see him on the main roster sooner than later, but I would love to see him develop a little bit more and kind of get a push that would allow us to see if he can carry a brand, if he can be the kind of champion that that NXT or Raw or SmackDown in the future would need. I do think he has it. I think he's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. He's way better than he should be for the amount of time he's been in the WWE. And so I'm expecting big things from Obafemi, and that's why I'm picking him to win and retain his championship, and it's time for Wes to move on. Tell me your thoughts in the comments, though. Do you think it's going to be Obafemi or Wes Lee? What would you do with Wes after he can no longer challenge for the North American Championship? Let me know your thoughts below. All right, let's move on to the Women's North American Championship. We've got Sol Ruca challenging champion Kalani Jordan for that title. And I do think that this is going to be a really good match. Both of these women are kind of high flyers, really exciting offense, great in the ring, and I can't wait to watch the match. Now, when I played this out on WWE 2K24, it was Kalani Jordan retaining her title in a really fun to watch match. Again, both high flyers, both really exciting offense, and that translated into the game as well, and Kalani retaining. What do I want to happen though? Personally, I would love to see Sol get this title and take a run with it for a little while. I think she's got the stuff. She's great in the ring. Her on-screen persona is really developing, at least in video packages. We've seen a lot of video packages of her lately, less live on the mic, and I think she needs more opportunities for that. But same could be said for Kalani. I think both of them are in a situation where the North American Championship makes a lot of sense because it gives them more opportunities to be on screen. It gives them more opportunities to talk. It gives them more opportunities to cut promos and again get more and more comfortable. And that's what NXT is for. It is for developing people who are at least camera ready into people who are main roster ready. And both of these women, they've got it in the ring. They just need it on the mic. And so I love to see Sol get that opportunity. But again, I also see why Kalani would need to keep it. My preference, though, is Sol. But what I think is actually going to happen, I do think Kalani is going to retain. I think WWE 2K24 got this one right. I think she's going to retain. She's going to continue to move forward. I'm interested to see what they do with Sol after that because I don't know that she's really ready to jump up and challenge Roxanne Perez for the NXT Championship, especially if she's coming off of a loss here in this title match. I don't know. I do think Kalani is going to retain. I'm curious to see what happens with Sol going forward from there. But tell me your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think it's Kalani or Sol? And where do you go from here? Next up, let's talk about the NXT Women's Championship. We've got Lola Vice challenging Roxanne Perez in what is sure to be a hard-hitting match. Lola has that MMA style, so she's going to be coming out with the physical offense, and Roxanne is going to be trying to counter it with pure mat wrestling, which she's very, very good at. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see how the story of the match plays out as both women try to force the other into their world, into their realm. And whoever can operate better in the other person's world is going to be the one that ultimately wins. Now, according to WWE 2K24, we are going to see Roxanne Perez retain her championship and see her continue what has been a really great run with the NXT Women's Championship. I think this heel character of Roxanne is hitting and it's developing really, really well. She had a rough promo on this week's episode of NXT, but outside of that, she's been doing really well and continuing to develop. So she'll need to recover from that quickly. So maybe they'll give her some mic time at Heatwave to help her recover from that. She's better than that. She's better than what she showed on Tuesday night. And I would love to see her get an opportunity before this match to kind of recover from that. Same for Lola Vice, though. She needs a moment to recover from that awkward promo as well. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back, check out that video. I'll talk all about it. It was kind of weird. It was really awkward and I did not love it. So both of these women need an opportunity to recover and move forward with their on-screen character. Now, what do I want to see happen? I do want to see Roxanne retain. There are just some really good stories that could happen with Roxanne for a couple of reasons. One, she's a two-time women's NXT champion. That's very rare. And two, she's in the middle of a really, really solid run that whoever dethrones her or beats her is going to get a really big push. And so I think that there are only two names that come to mind when I think of the right person to dethrone Roxanne Perez. One is Julia. She's been rumored to come in for a while. I think she was supposed to come in already, but got injured and is kind of being rumored as the future face of NXT for at least the season going forward. Julia could be a good pick. It would skyrocket her into a place of prominence very quickly, and it would be good to see that happen. The other name that's been thrown out, and I love this even more, is Cora Jade. I don't remember how long ago it was that Cora got injured, but I do know that she's had her surgery. She's been doing rehab. I think she's probably got a couple, like 3 or 4 more months, maybe even a little longer until she's ready to come back. So this one feels a bit like a long shot for me, but Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship would be incredible. It would do so much for both of them. They've had a really, really solid friendship and team run, and then they had a really bitter rivalry. Cora obviously was the heel in that to face Roxanne, but it'd be fun to see those roles switched. Anytime somebody comes back, if they do it the right way, after a long absence, they kind of come back with the crowd behind them. So seeing Cora come back, she could go face again and take on Roxanne in what could be a really, really good story. As far as Lola Vice, I love that she's getting this championship opportunity. I just don't think that she's ready. I think she needs some more time to develop, and that was made kind of obvious by her latest promo. I could see her getting into the NXT Women's North American Championship picture. That one right now is very face heavy as far as competitors go, and so to see her get mixed up in that would be good. Again, I'm excited that she's getting this opportunity to have a high-profile match, but she's got some more work to do before she's ready to carry such a title. So what do I think is actually going to happen? I do think it's going to be Roxanne Perez. The Prodigy continues her epic run with this NXT Women's Championship as she continues to carry the brand. Honestly, she's doing a great job. I think she's the right person to hold that belt for now, and I do see her coming out with it at the end of Heatwave. Tell me your thoughts, though. Do you agree? Do you think Roxanne's the right person to continue to carry the brand, or do you think it's time to give Lola Vice a shot? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let's move on to talk about the main event. In the main event, we've got a fatal four-way. We're going to see Shawn Spears, Ethan Page, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams all vying for Trick's NXT Championship. Playing this one in 2K24, we have a new NXT champion, and that is All Ego Ethan Page. You know what? I love it. I love it. That's what I want to see happen as well. I think Ethan Page came in hot. He came in as a big name. He came in as this like superstar signing, and I think it's time for him to prove it. Let's see what he's really got as the champion. Now, personally, I love heel champions because it's so much fun to see people beat them, but it's also fun to see, let's call them creative ways that they get out of losing their championships. I do believe that Ethan Page is very good on the mic. He's very good in the ring, and I think he's got what it takes to carry the brand even as a heel. I don't want to compare him to Roman Reigns, but Roman is one of those guys that as a heel was able to carry the brand. I want to see if Ethan Page can do something like that. Honestly, though, I think putting the title on Ethan Page is actually more about seeing if he's main roster ready. They brought him in because he was a bigger name, but they wanted to test it out, test the waters, see how he does in a setting like NXT, and putting the title on him for a time is a great way to do that. And then it's another opportunity to build another superstar really quickly in somebody like an Obafemi down the road, or another face like that. As far as Javon Evans goes, I just don't think it's time for him yet. I think he's doing a really great job. He's developing really quickly. His in-ring stuff is really good as it relates to high flying, but can he tell a story in the ring? Can he make a compelling back and forth match? And same with his mic work. His mic work has been mostly just high energy, fun. Can he get serious? Can he get serious? Like the promo that he cut on Tuesday night, it was all right, but it wasn't great. It wasn't the best work for such a high profile moment for him. It just still felt like he was sort of jokey and sort of just making light of the situation until Shawn Spears punched him in the face. But like I said, I don't think it's time for Javon yet. He's got a little bit more work to do, but I do think that he's developing nicely and he is a future champion. Now, as far as Shawn Spears goes, I think that he's in this match to provide a little bit more veteran presence, to make the actual in-ring work of a higher quality. And I think that he'll do a great job of that. And ultimately, I think him and Javon and the rivalry, the feud that they've sort of got going is going to be a major plot point of this match, and is ultimately going to be something that costs both of them their opportunity to win the title. Now, for Trick, I think Trick's done a great job. I think he's a great NXT champion. He is so over. He's a fan favorite. Everybody loves Trick. But I think everybody loves Trick more when he's chasing, when he's the underdog, when he's backed into a corner. And putting the title on Ethan Page is a great way to do that. Obviously he's going to want that championship back, and Ethan Page as a heel will be great at trying to dodge that, to try to duck him, to try to avoid putting the title on the line against Trick, creating all these hoops that he's got to jump through. And Trick's personality is the type of, yeah, okay, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it to get another shot. And so I would love to see that story play out, but the only way we get that is if somebody else wins the championship, especially if it's Ethan Page. So I do believe that Ethan Page is somehow going to win. Now, obviously, we do have to ask a question about Oro Mensah, and will he get involved? I could see him getting involved to cost Ethan Page the championship, but he was told on Tuesday by Stevie Turner that he is not allowed to be at Heatwave. Now, normally this means he's definitely going to be at Heatwave, but we'll see. Oro seems to be the kind of guy that would honor that, because he said, yeah, no big deal, I'll get my shot. He even said later, Ethan Page, I'm coming for you later. And so I could see him actually not showing up, but it's 50-50 for me right now. All right, at the end of the day, my pick to win this match is going to be All Ego Ethan Page. I do think he's going to pick it up. I think we're getting a new NXT champion. here at Heatwave, and I'm actually looking forward to see how they develop this story. Where does Trick go from here? I think the obvious answer for Shawn Spears and Javon Evans is that they go into their rivalry one-on-one against each other. Maybe Josh Briggs gets involved. This is the opportunity for Shawn Spears to begin to build his faction of young, misguided individuals, and that's a great way to do it. Trick and Paige will obviously feud for a little while afterwards as well, but it'll be interesting to see where Trick goes from here. Where does Ethan Page go from here? The obvious answer for him is Oro Mensah, but again, as I said in my previous video, I don't think Oro Mensah is really ready for the main event slot yet. So again, it's all very confusing because there are so many stories represented in this one match. But ultimately, I do think it's going to be Ethan Page that gets the win and walks out with the championship. But tell me what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And where do all these stories go from here? All in all, this is shaping up to be a really great match card. I do think that all of these matches have the potential to be match of the night, have the potential to steal the show, and I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, we've got an action-packed weekend of wrestling coming at us, and I cannot wait for all of it. We've got SmackDown on Friday, we've got Money in the Bank on Saturday, Heatwave on Sunday, Raw on Monday, and another episode of NXT on Tuesday, and I can't wait for all of these. They're going to be awesome shows as we head into the road to SummerSlam and what that brings with it. Well, hey, that is it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me for a bit on Rumble Rewind. Before you jump off of here, though, do me a quick favor. Scroll down below this video, hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and turn on your post notifications so you never miss an upload. We've got a lot of content coming out over the next couple weeks, including on Monday. We're going to be right back here watching this video, reacting to some of my takes. Where did I get it right? Where did I get it wrong? And where was I way off? So turn on those post notifications so you don't miss that. Like I said, Money in the Bank is also this weekend. And if you're interested in my previews and predictions for that, click on this video right here. Check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are as we head into what I think is going to be an epic weekend of wrestling. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We'll see you on the next one.